There's nothing in there. It's Deidre.
Hello, it is Deidre, and today is my dirty 40 birthday, and we are gonna celebrate it by reading some Am I the Devil stories.
That's dirty enough, right?
Am I the devil for refusing to go to my wife's first doctor's appointment after she told my sister / her best friend about being pregnant before me? They were best friends before we ever started dating, but still, I'm her husband and the father of her child. I had a right to find out she was pregnant before my sister, but instead of telling me first, once she found out, her response was to call my sister. I was an afterthought. I feel like she robbed me of a special moment which I will never get back. I am finding it hard to get excited about anything because we started off on such a bad note.
Really? No, you had me in the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
I told my wife I didn't want to go to her first appointment, bro. My sister could go with her instead if she wanted company. My wife didn't like this, but I told her that it's her own fault for getting us started on a bad note. What in the man, baby? Maybe I will go to others, maybe not. I have no clue and don't feel involved in any way. So what does it even matter? Am I the devil? Bro, really? Okay, at first, I was on your side, bro. When you're saying that you should have been told first, yeah, I agree. It sounds like they're actually pretty young. Obviously, it's their first child, but I almost feel like that would have been a lesson as far as separating friendship from your partner. Kind of like one of those lessons. But he has taken it to the next level, and he is showing his own ass by refusing to support his pregnant wife. He is actually backing out of all of the responsibilities of having a pregnant wife, and he thinks that this is a valid excuse to not take care of her. Bro, you are in for a surprise. By the end of this pregnancy, if you decide to not support her in her appointments and continue to go on not feeling involved, as you say, even though it's your fault why you don't feel involved, you're choosing not to be involved. If you continue down that road of assholery, you're not gonna have a wife in 9 months. Guaranteed. This is immaturity, and also I feel really bad for the wife because chances are he has shown this side of himself before. I highly doubt this is the first time that she saw the man baby within, peeking its little head out into their situation. Well, now the man baby has reared his ugly head. The only difference now is now there's a real baby, and the real baby will always win. Real baby takes priority over man baby, and if he's already having a hard time during the first month of pregnancy, I highly doubt he's gonna handle a little competition. Yes, you are the devil, Dad. Am I the devil for meddling in my sister's relationship? My 17 female nerdy sister, 22 female, somehow scored super out of her league, 24 male. And I've always been so jealous. They've been dating for about 8 months. 8 months is a long time to be jealous. Her boyfriend is super hot, and I just wanted to say that if he were my boyfriend, I would do anything and everything I could to keep him happy. Girl, you are 17 years old, of course you would. Well, the nerd has always just been a lot. She gets really into fandom and book series and TV shows and will then read fanfiction about people she finds hot. I only know this because I catch her reading AO3 like all the time. I don't know what AO3 is. I told her that maybe she should stop that since she has a boyfriend. She said that he didn't mind, aside from him teasing her about it every once in a while. I just feel like it's emotionally cheating on someone. She gets so invested in this character and reads every fanfic she can on them. I then tried to tell her boyfriend because I felt like he should know, and he just laughed when I told him. He said it's not really any different than her reading a book and liking the main character. This all went down at the family dinner last Sunday night. I guess they must have said something about it to my mom because my mom said that I need to butt out of the relationship. My mom brought up all the times I've tried to meddle in the relationship, telling my sister's boyfriend about her ED and how he shouldn't need to deal with that because it was unfair of her to hide that from him, telling him she still sleeps with a stuffed animal when they first started dating, telling her she needs to put more effort into her appearance for a guy like him. I am just trying to help, but also I'd just much rather they break up sooner rather than later, as it will hurt my sister less. No, it will hurt you less when he inevitably leaves her for someone more in his league. Am I the devil So, Miss 17-year-old know-it-all, I'd imagine with your expertise on relationships that you would be fully aware that the reason you want your sister to break up with this boy is because you are jealous. It was never about him. All this stuff you're talking about trying to protect him and how you think it's a red flag that she reads fanfiction. No. It was never about him. It was never about her. It was all about you. And I would say that is accurate based on your age. This type of mentality is, if I can't have him, then no one can. The biggest red flag in this situation is the fact that you are trying to ruin your sister's relationship. Not her reading fan fiction and loving the characters. You are the red flag, ma'am. And not only are you the red flag, you are also the devil. This one is about dogs. Am I the devil for saying guests could go ahead and leave my 4th of July party? I, 33 female, hosted a 4th of July party for my friends. A friend brought their relatively new spouse. Met him once at a restaurant and spoke for a few minutes. I have 2 German Shepherds, Jameson and Guinness. My house is their house. I chose this property because it was a good fit for them. This friend, 32 female, dislikes my dogs on a bad day to being tolerant of them on a good day. When they arrived, both dogs wanted to say hi. Neither my friend or the spouse acknowledged them. I found that annoying. Literally everyone else that showed up said hi to my dogs. Like 20 other people. They sat on the couch when Guinness came up to them. I see him say something to my friend. My dogs are the sweetest things ever. He gently pushed Guinness away, and he asked me if I could put the dogs in another room, citing they don't want the dog bothering them during the party. I backed up my dogs, told them I'm sorry, but this is Jameson and Guinness's house. You need to deal with it or leave. My dogs live here, and they don't get put away for anyone. If you just pet them, they'll leave you alone. After a brief convo, they decided to leave. I told them they don't call the shots at my house about my dogs. The rest of my friends were split on how I acted. Some said it wasn't a big deal to put them in another room for a few hours, and others said I was right. Am I the devil? I think you are the devil because you expect everyone in the world on this planet to be as happy about your dogs as you are. And that's not realistic. Not everyone is a dog person. Some people like dogs, but are uncomfortable with dogs. Some people have trauma surrounding dogs, and you are completely disrespectful of that possibility. I don't think your dogs are entitled to being cuddled and touched up by people they don't know. And the people they don't know are well within their right to not do so. Yes, ma'am, I'm glad you love your dogs, but you also love the devil, apparently. Okay, this one is a little long, but I want to read it. Am I the devil for not telling a woman she was about to sit and poop? I, 26 male, was at a crowded park recently where there were food trucks set up and people sitting around eating. Sitting was pretty limited, and most people were sitting on this low concrete wall that runs along the edge of the parking lot. On the other side of the wall is a grassy area that's level with the top of the wall. So, people sit with their backs toward the grass and legs facing the lot. I had just gotten my food when I noticed the only free spot left. At the same time, I saw a girl well-dressed for the park also walking toward it. She saw it first and was headed that way, but I was closer and got there before her despite running when she saw me approaching it. Really, bro? As I got to it, I looked down at the grass behind the wall and saw a big pile of dog poop right where someone's lower back or clothes would land if they leaned or sat back. It was pretty gross, and I decided not to sit. Right then, she walked up and looked annoyed, saying, "Seriously?" I was going to sit there. I didn't want to make a thing of it, so I just stepped aside and said, "Go ahead, you can have it." She immediately sat down without checking behind her, and just a second later jumped up with a disgusted look on her face. The poop was stuck to the back of her skirt. She turned to me and snapped. "Why didn't you say anything?" I told her, "I saw it, yeah, but I didn't know how you were planning to sit. For all I knew, you were just going to perch on the edge or sit upright. It's a park. People walk their dogs here. You've got to check before sitting down." She kept insisting I should have warned her, but I told her I wasn't trying to be petty. "Yes, you were. I genuinely didn't know how far back she was going to lean or sit, and it wasn't really my responsibility to check the ground for her. She could have sat only on the wall and not on the grass and would have been fine." She eventually walked off frustrated, but now I'm wondering if I should have said something anyway. But I feel like, especially since she was so confrontational confrontational about the spot, it wasn't really necessary. Am I the devil? You and I are both 100% aware that you let her sit there for revenge. She literally saw the seat before you and you tried to get to it before her. If that doo-doo was not there, you would have sat in that seat. Would you have felt like a jerk then? That would have made you an asshole. But instead, you saw doo-doo and you did not sit there and you allowed her to sit in that doo-doo because your ego is so fragile that you have to hurt another person to feel better about yourself, and then try to play it off like you just weren't sure if you should say something about doo-doo. I only wish that your head was so far up your ass that you sat down without looking and got the doo-doo you deserved. Yes, you are the devil, and you know that. You already know you're the devil. Why are you even asking? Am I the devil for not eating cake at my GF birthday? So me, 26 male, and my girlfriend, 25 female, were making her cake for her birthday party tomorrow, and I said that's too much sugar, it's disgusting. I can't eat that. I was even disgusted to touch it. She almost cried, telling me that's not nice. Her sister was in front and said the same too. For context, she knows I work out and I don't eat sugar and avoid processed foods and carbs apart from sometimes fruit and honey in general, while she eats everything. I had told her I would eat a small slice for her, but after seeing the amount of sugar she put, I'd rather eat my soul's shoe than that. And it's not about the calories, but the whole idea of putting that food in my mouth disgusts me. I guess she should have made a cake I could eat, with fruit honey and almond flour, for example. Edit. So I wanted to make update. I'm never critical of my girlfriend eating unhealthy. Even I usually get her a dessert. She has one almost every day. I will occasionally, when I feel she needs it, try to encourage her to eat healthy, but not with a negative attitude like it happened here. And I apologize, and thanks for pointing it out, and I hope you do better than me in similar circumstances. I will definitely won't repeat this again. About the comments, oh my god, am I still the devil? What's wild is that you came back and made this update thinking that it will make the original post any better, when it just makes you look even more like the devil. As you said, I will occasionally when I feel she needs it, rather than on occasion when she asks. There's a difference there. What you have done is actually projected your insecurity onto your girlfriend. And you are clearly trying to mold her into someone that she isn't. She loves her desserts. She's allowed to have desserts. If you are afraid of sugar and you are pursuing a healthier lifestyle, fine. But to think that just because she's your girlfriend, you have any right to try and force her into your box of thought when it comes to the health of her own body automatically makes you the devil. To me, when you choose someone to be your partner, you do so with an understanding of who they are, not with the idea that you will be able to mold them into something that they're not. You knew she liked her desserts, and you continue to know that, as you said you buy her desserts every day. So if this is something that disgusts you, and it disgusts you to get your girlfriend desserts every day, maybe this is not the right girlfriend for you. Nobody wants to be in a relationship where their partner is secretly thinking they're disgusting for what they eat. You are the devil. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for joining me for my Dirty 40. I hope you enjoyed reading Am I the Devil with me. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you would like to continue these Reddit adventures with me. You're always welcome here. I know it's fun watching me talk to myself, but what do you think?
Yeah!